Hey, yeah, what's going on, everybody? It's Xbox Nation time. It is Wednesday, 6 past the top of the hour. A little bit late, but we can blame Mooch for that. He goes, I'm going to be late. And I was like, all right, that's fine. No, because usually I'm the one that's late. But, we're happy that you guys are here. As you guys shuffle in, please like and share out the video, as that would be much appreciated as well. Hopefully you guys are all doing damn well. We'll start off. Mooch, what do you got going on, man? What's going on?
Not much, buddy. Listen, I was just saying to you before the show, it's like there's not a lot of news per se, but there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot happening, and I don't know. I think this is a great time. I'm enjoying a lot of the conversation and banter on Twitter, and I'm seeing a lot of people playing some of their backlog, myself included. You're getting some older games in that. I shouldn't say older games. They're games of this year that we still get around to.
Actually, Rage 2 and Devil May Cry 5,
great.
Which I was surprised. I booted that up just on a whim because it was on sale and I got it, and because I had a gift card or whatever, and I was like, the graphics on that is pretty damn good.
I heard it's a lot of fun,
and it's super fluid, and it's and I set it on. There's no easy mode, but there's human mode, and I did, and it's not hard. It's fun. The graphics are great. I'll be honest with you, man. It's just hashtag fun, and I'm having a good time with it. So
nice.
Surprise. Rage as well. Rage 2. I got partway through that, and then sometimes I'll bounce around between games or whatever. But I also started Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 on the Nintendo Switch.
I did too.
And that game is hashtag fun.
It's great.
It is. I'm having a damn good time with it. I would play more Switch if they offered achievements with it. You know what I mean? Like, not that, I like that. I like the meta game. Yeah, I like the meta game within the game. We got to get
into the intro, so I don't want to take up too much time on this, but I got to be honest with you, Crap. I think that I get your point now. I'm not a big trophy or achievement person per se, but it is something that when you continue and it makes you kind of want to go the extra mile in these games, Yeah.
So
there's extra things to do even in Marvel Ultimate Alliance. And, like you say, there's no kind of like perk or reward. I get that now. I really do get that more now than before. I'm not a hunter. I don't hunt for them.
Neither do I.
Get them.
There is a meta game within a game, though. You know what I mean? Some people really go in for that.
It's like when you go to your friend's house, right? It's like they offer you a drink. Even if you're not thirsty, it's nice to get the offer.
Exactly. You know, the offer's nice. It's good.
Yes, I still take you up on it.
Exactly. That's exactly what happens.
Who's yelling?
It is. Who's yelling?
Nobody's
yelling yet.
Wednesday.
We've got some good stuff to get into, though. We've got Xbot 448. I see you on Destiny 2, man. How's it going?
Can't complain, guys. I was just wondering. I was sitting back and hearing Crap and Mooch go back and forth in the intros. I was like, man, did you go to the next podcast school of intros? Because that's what we do over there. We'll spend like a half hour on intros before we get into the topics. But it is Wednesday, the middle of the week. And Crap, you know what that means, right?
It's hump day.
It
is.
That's right. Xbox Nation. Guys, strap your seatbelts in. You're in for one hell of a ride tonight.
Strap on in for a hell of a ride, because it's going to be fun.
That was a nice cover up.
I know, right there. That's what I'm saying, man. Strap on in. We also got Predator. He was actually the first one in the room today. What's going on, Pred? How's it going, man?
Not much, man. We're still in intros, right?
Yeah, still intros, man. That's how we roll.
Good to be here, man. Let's get it in.
Hell yeah. We've got Noximus Decimus Meridius. What's going on, Nox? How's it hanging?
Oh, man, pretty good, pretty neat, bro. Another wonderful Wednesday night.
Neat. Everything's good and neat. That's good to hear. Battle We're going, man. Those 59 discounted games, man. I love them. I gotta love them, man. That's our special Xbox. And making his debut here by request, he actually was like, "Hey, can I come on the show?" And man, I have such a good rapport with this guy, good fan, long time Sir X-Man. Give it to Luca. What's going on, Sir X-Man? How's it going, man? Thanks for joining
everybody? Old school gamer in the house, and I'm definitely the oldest person here. Been playing since 1977. Love my video game. Never stop till the day I die. That's pretty much it.
Hey, you can't go wrong there.
I admire that about us, man.
Damn, credentials right there, man.
I've been on Xbox Live for almost 16 years. Thank you.
Holy cow.
I'm the oldest Xbox Live veteran in the room.
That's fantastic, though, man. That's really, really good. That's what I like to hear.
All hail X.
Yes, all hail X.
Oh,
give it to Sorry. You can never live that down with me, man. Once I'm on to something, man.
Oh, you guys do what you do.
That's all it is, man.
I just want to let you know, never tell him about any type of relationship with your grandma when it comes to cowboys.
Yes.
Will not live it down At
because
all.
Yeah, you, Mister. I play cowboy now. I didn't
his
like
grandma,
overnight.
his grandma would dress him up in a
No,
cowboy
not
outfit.
I know. I've heard it. I know.
Yeah, and that's why
man.
he was afraid to play any kind of games with cowboys, because his grandma used to dress him up as that. So yeah, it's very interesting. I want to hop into the topics today.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we got the Gears of War. Gears of War 5 obviously is a hot topic. First of all, I guess we can start with the tech test impressions. I played it for a little bit. You know what? I don't like doing these things too much because I feel like it can spoil the game a bit, even with some of the multiplayer stuff. But I wanted to give it a whirl. Yeah. And, I played the rank stuff, and I thought it was very fluid. I thought the game was fluid. I thought it looked okay. Multiplayer obviously isn't going to look as good as, like, the single-player stuff or whatever. I get that. But I thought the actual controls and stuff have been updated quite a bit, and they felt smoother. I played the rank stuff. King of the Hill isn't my thing. Mostly people just play that to get kills or whatever, and I'm, like, the type of person that plays for, like, the objective. So, I'm in there trying to get the objective, just getting killed over and over again. But I still, I got a good feel for it. I turned off the crossplay to play ranked. Unfortunately, all the other game modes force crossplay on you. Every one of them. And when Gears of War 4 did this, right, they're like, well, we're going to run a test and see if there's an advantage specifically for PC players. At that particular time, there wasn't a ton of PC players to test, right? There wasn't a lot. And the game modes are all Nasher-based game modes, right? So those wouldn't really favor a PC gamer. Now, with the arcade mode and some of these other modes, they're not Nasher based, so they're pickup based and long range based, which means I was getting killed from I don't even know where when I played this mode. So according to the community manager, online manager of Gears, they said they have no plans to change it based on Gears 4 analysis, which I find to be asinine. You know what I mean? Because you want to welcome in new fans, and you basically ranked is where the tryhards play, and unranked is going to be where the PC players play. So, for me, it's a little bit, I guess, it just goes to show.
You're going to have to go to Horde mode, man. You're going to have to go to Horde mode.
Yeah, but I mean, look, it just goes to show where Microsoft is at, because they also, and Mooch, you heard this too, they also did this thing with, the hell's that, Sea of Thieves, right?
Yes,
where they're like, they finally disabled it, but not really. Like, we disabled it, but you can still get matched up with them.
I think we're past all this now and asking them to disable it. I don't think that's going to happen, crap. And I think your point is the only one I've seen. I haven't read anything of their other ideas and why they're not allowing you to disable. I think if this is the generation of options and Microsoft has been the king of options, they should give us this and let the player decide if they want to have that or not. Now, myself personally, I made it up to level 21 or 22.
Man, you're usually the one that doesn't play these type of things.
I know. I did. I was on all weekend long. I did love it. I will say, I have a lot of admiration and love to express towards it, and then I've got a little bit of nothing's really negative, but there's a couple of things that I noticed about it when we get into that. But I mean, as far as asking for that, I played arcade mode, and I'll tell you, in crap, I had a bit of a different tale. I was fantastic.
Yeah.
I got MVP like 3 times, 4 times. I did all right. I
couldn't even pick up anything, man. I was just like, pew, pew. Okay, I guess, man. I don't know. And I'm decent at Gears, but this one was a little bit different for me than the other ones. I was like, I don't know. Maybe I needed to spend a little bit more time in it. Well, I'll get to. Like I said, I don't like to ruin these type of things for myself. I thought the game looked okay, but by the way, we'll also point out the other 2 things we were going to talk about Gears related. Gears 5 is not 4K on the Xbox One X for those that care. I'm glad
the multiplayer, brother.
I'm glad that even on the boot camp, which is a good indication.
Well, that's not to me. That's not an indication.
Hey, listen, I don't particularly care, but they're like, hey, it's 4K 60, and then when it comes back that it drops down to 1080p. Maybe that could be it. So, what are your guys' impressions of the tech test and this resolution stuff on the X?
I will say personally, me myself, I'm not a big PvP Gears guy. You guys know that. Like I'll play the story. I'll get into the Horde mode every once in a while with people. But I wanted to try this out. So with trying it out, everything you said about the movement and the gunplay being like absolutely smooth, switching up your chainsaw for your Lancer to the right bumper and having the execution knife with the B. I thought that all laid out really well.
Yeah.
I think the game graphically looks awesome. When I saw just the start screen, because I actually went back in and I started playing Gears 4 campaign again.
Yeah.
Right. And I did that on purpose to see like if I could see any difference between 4 and 5 with the tech test. And guess what, guys? Incredibly, I saw a difference. And the difference was Gears 5, at least from what I'm seeing so far, looks better. It's more colorful. I relate it to kind of like Coalition when they first did Gears 4, kind of wrapping themselves around like the high dynamic range color and dealing with that. And, maybe that they were new to doing that. So with this time around, they have a better kind of idea of what to do, how to develop with like the HDR and everything in mind. And I think they did an amazing job when it comes to the graphics so far. I think I'm on a different boat than you when it comes to the resolution. First off, you guys know I really don't give two craps about resolution.
I don't care. I care about the fact that they're pimping it as 4K 60.
Well, yeah, but then again,
time.
every single PlayStation game is dynamic 4K as
Yeah,
well.
I mean, I get it, but
the game only had 16 gigs. Now when you downloaded it, so there's going to be more downloadable download for the 4K assets. They're not ready to implement that until the full game comes out.
That's what I was thinking too.
You're not going to see it right now.
That could be it, but the fact that they found what is that, interlacing or whatever it is, you're not going to do that if you're going to be able to achieve that natively.
Well,
so
they're probably testing their interlacing. It was a tech test, so they're probably seeing how it's going to run, so then they can implement it when the real game comes out. That's a quick fix.
5 weeks though before launch, man. I'm going to go out on a limb and say I don't think this game is going to be native 4K.
I think the campaign will be, brother. I think it will.
Well, no, they're going to go for 60 frames. I don't think you're going to get 60 frames at native 4K. I think they might give you an option like they did with the last one.
I'm going to go out on a limb right now and say the campaign will be 4K 60.
I think that'd be cool.
If they're not achieving it on multiplayer, they're definitely not going to achieve it on the campaign because that's more strenuous on the system. You know what I mean? It's gotta
is it
be
though?
the campaign. Yeah, it is.
The lower end systems, yeah.
It is because multiplayer doesn't have any AI. It doesn't have any enemy combatants. It's just player versus player. So that's why usually they can achieve 4K 60 like they did in Gears 4. Now, doesn't matter to me. I think the game looks great. You know what I'm saying?
Did it look less gritty to you guys? Like to me, it looks,
it looked polished when I played it. I played it on the S in the front room, and I got my S in the bedroom. So I played it on both, and it looked cleaner on the 4K TV in the living room, but it actually looked really clean on the S, which is an LCD TV, 1080p, in the bedroom. So I think they're just setting it for different settings. When the game comes out, just like they give you different settings for the games that they enhance, I think the same thing is going to happen for this. You just didn't have a big enough patch. It's only 16 gigs. That's not enough for 4K assets. It's not.
I mean, it could be. Like I said, though, I'd be kind of surprised because it did drop to 720p on the standard Xbox One or the S or whatever it is that they tested it on. Like, I don't particularly think it's a bad thing, but just another one of those like quirky things. Like the last one, they managed to hit 4K.
My thing is you shouldn't go around because they made it a point to say it was going to be 4K 60 everything. They made a point of saying that. Didn't Rob Ferguson come out and say every mode is going to be 4K 60? If you're not going to do that, don't say it. You know what I mean? But it doesn't really matter. It doesn't. I could care less. I think the game looks wonderful. The tech test sucked for me. I couldn't get into any ranked matches, and I got into only 2 arcade matches. But from what I saw from the boot camp, I'm digging it. I think that the campaign is going to be awesome. I'm really hoping they deliver on that because I feel like that they can. I like the changes they made. I like the controls feel great. It feels to me anyway like a nice cross between Gears 2 and 3. You know what I mean? Like they got that perfect balance. To me, anyway, it felt that way. I just want to experience a little more. I don't like the Gears of Duty from the arcade mode. I don't. I didn't like what I experienced.
Shotgun is annoying.
I would have loved to play with the shotgun, but I just kept getting sniped because I wasn't aware
This is exactly what happened to me.
but the thing is, I couldn't do anything. Literally,
You gotta upgrade your weapons, man.
I don't know, I think
I gotta
if you-
kill something. I gotta kill something in order to do it.
And to upgrade your weapons, Xbox.
Hey, man, you can't stand still, man. You got to move.
Yeah, I was just
around.
gonna say that you have to move fast. Like, I mean, I was hitting that. And I know this is a
veteran, man.
I know this is a negative from IGN, but you know, you gotta spam that A button. You know what I mean? You gotta get moving.
No,
so
that's the way I play, Mooch. My whole thing was I felt like everyone was just camping. That's what was annoying me. I'm like,
really?
why? Yeah. Well, like I
didn't
said,
get that.
I only got into 2 games. The shit kept crashing for me every time. It would say error and send me back to the title screen. It became annoying. I gave up.
Did you try to play on Friday only?
I tried for 2 days.
Okay, because I didn't play. I wasn't home Friday, so I couldn't. I played pretty much a big chunk on Saturday and a big chunk on Saturday, and I almost had no issues.
It was terrible on Friday. It was.
Yeah, Friday I saw the screenshots people posting that stuff.
At a 67-hour wait.
Yeah, right.
67 hour.
Yeah,
So
I said I'll come back tomorrow.
Yeah, like so. real quick, guys, just so I could finish up here with this.
No.
I felt like everyone was just camping and lancering from far or sniping you. I didn't have a Nasher. It just caught me off guard. It's not the gears I know. You always start with your snub pistol, your Lancer, or your hammer burst and your shotgun. You start with the Nasher and the smoke grenade.
Here's what I liked about it, Knox, and I know where you're coming from. The one thing I liked about the arcade mode was I liked that they gave you could pick your loadout with the different characters, and then I even sometimes, most of the time, I picked I believe it was JD's character where he had the 3 question marks. I kind of like getting the random, and I just went out there and just had some fun with it. But I mean, the one thing I think here's my pitch for Knox. Then our arcade mode's not for you.
No, yeah, it's
right?
not.
I mean, it's not. That's okay. There's nothing like there's people telling me I don't want to buy Black Ops 4 because I don't like Battle Royale. That's a you problem. You know, there's other modes for you. Myself personally, I love that. That's why I got it. Now, I think Knox is right. Knox is a traditional Gears fan, so he's got every right to feel that way. Myself personally, jumping into the traditional matches, which I did on some of the other ones that were offered this past weekend, the King of the Hill. I love King of the Hill, but it was like a Nasher fest. So the arcade was a fresh breath of air, to get away from the Nashers. You saw people using the pistol. You saw people using, you get the, what is it called? The inferior. What is it called? The fire grenades, for God's sake. You get those as a perk. I don't know how they call them.
Say that
Inferno grenade.
Inferno. I thought it was inferior or something like that. But anyways, you're just picking them so goddamn quick. I didn't sit there and give myself a spelling test. But nonetheless, I thought that was a fresh breath of air. It's nice to have something different there. So, but again, I wouldn't sit here and say Knox is wrong. I get where he's coming from. Myself personally, since I'm so tired of the Nasher Fest. It was just kind of like a real fresh breath of air for Gears to kind of jump back into something new.
It's my bad. It's incendiary. That was I was.
It
wrong.
is. Yeah, I knew it wasn't
incendiary.
It wasn't Inferno.
You know what?
I just remembered it. I was like,
thank you.
Check this out. At E3, we were all complaining that we didn't see campaign and stuff like that, and I was one of the people because I feel like they should have had it on the big screen. Like, what the hell were they thinking? Me personally, with getting a feel for the game, and even in boot camp, like hearing the dialogue between the players, seeing a couple of the maps that they're using, for multiplayer, because they take I think it was Knox who said this on Next Podcast this past Sunday. They take a piece of what's going on in the campaign, and they make a multiplayer map from that. So seeing like the cafe and stuff like that, and kind of getting into the atmosphere of this Gears game, it's kind of got me to sit back and be like, all right, let's bring on the campaign. I'm not so like, what the hell might they be hiding? And I'm more or less like, yo, this is going to be a good game.
I'm sure it's going to be very good. I mean, you know what I mean? I wish they would show off a little bit of something about the campaign, but I get why, whatever, they want to treat it the same way as whatever. I don't know. They're doing something weird with it that they don't normally do. I don't get it, but maybe they're hiding it for a good reason.
The thing my critique, and it's not really a critique, it's just kind of like I knew it was coming, so it's not like I'm terribly shocked.
Hey,
but
Luca,
I mean,
thanks. She says, "Hey boys, good show so far. Give it to
give it to X-Man.
Give it to X. Thank you. Give it to Luca." Hey, hit the like button, guys. Thank you.
I think my one issue, and everyone's gonna go, that's not an issue, and that's fine. Is just that I played before the tech test went live. The day before, 2 days before, I played a good amount of Gears 4 multiplayer. I wanted to go in, and I played some of the campaign. And if the caricature models, and yes, the flow is absolutely much better in 5.
It is.
It's much more polished, but it really does kind of. You know what? It feels like 4.5. You know, it feels. I feel like whenever you go from this goes for any game. This goes for PlayStation. This goes for Xbox. This goes for Nintendo. When I go from one, like let's just do Nintendo because it's kind of like this neutral area, right? Like when you went from one Mario Brothers game to the next one, I felt like it always looked a smidgen like it felt more like we've advanced 3 years or we went forward 4 years. I feel like Gears 5, even the campaign, and maybe they'll blow our doors out, but I feel like it's going to be playing, more of the story with the same look as Gears 4. And I was looking for a little bit more.
Where's James?
Yeah, hashtag who's James?
Yes.
Right. So I mean, I think that's my only, and a lot of people are going to go, of course, Gears is Gears. And I get that. I completely understand it. And I'll be looking for the same thing. Like, when you see like a bad example because Gears 4 and 5 came out in the same generation, but like if The Last of Us 2 looks exactly like The Last of Us remastered, identical with the same kind of like, but more boxy walk where they don't improve on certain things, that's the same kind of critique I would give that. I don't know yet on that aspect. But here, and we don't know what Gears yet either. But do you guys feel what I'm saying? Like, I just kind of feel like we're almost getting a continuation of 4 here. It doesn't look like a true like push forward.
That's a sequel, man. Not every sequel has to be like earth-shattering, groundbreaking.
It really does.
Completely.
Look at Uncharted.
No, it really
it's
doesn't.
Pretty much the same.
Uncharted, Uncharted got progressively better.
Uncharted 2 is in a league of its own. 3 kind of took 3 took a step back. 4 is probably the second best one, but
4 my point is just we should always be aiming to go up the stairs, not like down the stairs.
Well, piss me off right away.
Like the semi-open world that they're talking about with the campaign, which brings it back to, I know you want to see the campaign. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, you know what part kind of annoyed me is the boot camp with the DBs right away. I'm like, gosh, DBs.
Right, exactly. I'm
DBs,
like, here we go. It just felt like the same. And shout out to All Day says they're playing it safe again. I kind of feel that same way right now. And Lucas says same gen. That's what I was saying. This is a different situation because you've got 2 games coming out in the same generation, and really, it's a way to put them side by side. But my only response to Luca is, yes, I get that, and that's why I'm willing to deal with it. But at the same point, I'm like, you should always make progressions forward, move things up. And they gave Gears 4 a 4K option, and so I'm looking at 4K on Gears 4, and now I'm going to be looking at 4K on Gears 5. And I feel like just going to 4K, you've got to really wow me in the campaign. And of course, we've seen none of it. So I don't know what to expect moving forward. I know that here's one thing I could say. Gears 5 is going to be great if you love Gears. There's no question about it.
If you love Gears, then they got a Gears for you. Yeah,
absolutely. But I do feel I agree with a little bit with All Day there. That I do think this is a play it safe again kind of thing. Because I mean, look at even the level design on the maps we played, right? They just kind of felt like the maps we've been playing.
No, they don't.
To me, they do. To me, they do.
You played more of the multiplayer than anybody that I know.
Yes, I played a shit ton of it.
Is it just me, or does it seem like this Gears has more things to traverse, but a lot less space like the other maps from the previous Gears and when you're playing multiplayer?
I'll give you this much. There's much more yes, there's more elevation. There's more up and down, but I feel like
it's more vertical.
There's much more vertical. Absolutely.
I miss the room that Gears used to give you, though. You can't like Gears in previous games. If you see somebody, you could actually run up on them and melee them. You don't have the time or the space in the smaller maps to be able to do that.
Right.
They took that away.
Well,
You know?
let's not forget something else too here, and that's why it's so hard to critique anything on such a small sample size. But let's be honest, that might be those are just 2 maps. They may have another 10 Sir X-Man that open landscape you're looking forward to.
The map didn't seem. It seemed like Gears. It felt like a traditional Gears, and I agree with Mooch. I'm like right there, like but I do say this. I think that absolutely we need to see something new and better. It must evolve. It can't just continue to be the same old Gears. Now, I think that they're a little shook. I think that they made these changes, and that's why they're not showing the campaign, because they're shook that guys might not take to the changes. I'm looking forward to it. I'm really hoping.
No, man. Like, people are like, well, this is a sequel, but it seems more like a 4.5. But if they have something planned, then if you hit at the hardcore, they're like, man, I don't really like this open world aspect or whatnot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, my son told me that in the multiplayer, there's this gun that freezes you almost instantaneously, and then
I saw that.
Yeah, and all right, that could be a cheese. Like he was cheesing. He was loving it because he was cheesing the hell out of everybody. You know what I mean? But he's a very good player. But I don't like that shit. Like that to me, I'm like, a gun that instantaneously freezes you, and then whatever. Well, you got the boom, right? That'll kill you instantly, and the Nashville can one-shot you if you get in close. But to do it from far away,
it doesn't hit you from far away. But think about it this way: the buzz kill, that one does the same thing. If it even touches you, you're dead.
Oh, yeah.
The boom does it. That one does it. There's a few. I mean, that's a critique that goes way back. You have to. Again, that's why I'm saying you either like this part of Gears or you don't. You know what I mean? It's not really. I know where you're coming from, Knox, but that same thing as much you can't. There's already 2 other weapons that do that same kind of instantaneous kill. So you either like it or you don't.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'm with you. I get it. I wouldn't use the word cheese because I used it.
Cheese.
I saw people use it.
But you gotta those one-hit kill weapons like the torque bow or the sniper rifle,
or the skill,
that takes precision.
That's what I'm saying. Those weapons have a dynamic. You got to be nice with them. Even the boom has that arc. If you don't know how to fire that thing, it's an insta kill, or you're gonna miss and just get shotted. You're gonna get nashed. You know what I mean? Like
that's true.
A cheese weapon where you don't have to aim it at any particular body part. You don't have to get a headshot. You just aim it, boom, hit him in the torso, and it freezes him, and then you shatter him. That can be cheese. Like that can be even the Nasher. You got to earn it, right? I got to get up and close. I gotta push and boom.
Yeah, but the torque bow, you used to be able to feel on other Gears when it shot you. So you used to be able. There was a way to get the
absolutely
arrow off of you. You don't feel it when they shoot you with it. All you know is you died by the torque bow.
Well, let me ask you guys. Let me ask you guys this real quick. Just I want to ask about the crossplay stuff, not just with Gears, but Xbox, maybe in particular. It does seem like they want to push this crossplay stuff. What is your thoughts if they want to do this on Halo Infinite? Because I can see them going ranked, you can turn it off, but unranked and everything unranked, you have to play with PC people. Like, what are you going to feel about that? I'm curious.
This is like going in the Xbox neighborhood, and it's going to be affected house by house. You see it on Sea of Thieves where you said they turned it off, but not really, which is really weird. You hear that they're only shutting it off ranked on Gears. Now, granted, like I said, I'm not a big PvP guy when it comes to Gears. I'll play the story, I'll play the Horde. Yeah. Now, when it comes to Halo, at least with Halo 5, because I have recorded probably the most time on this panel when it comes to Halo 5, most of my gaming on that was actually in ranked arena. All right, so it wouldn't necessarily affect me as much if they say you can shut it off on ranked, because that's where I spent most of my time anyway.
Yeah,
but you should be able to shut off every mode. It should be you should have the option.
That's what I'm about to get to. But I can't only think about myself. I'm on YouTube. I have a responsibility to think about the community as well. And what gets me about this is somebody from Coalition, when they tweeted this out, it made it sound like it was a hassle for them. Like, well, we're trying to be super inclusive, but if you feel strongly enough that you want to switch it off, we give you the option. Like that sounded like like an attitude statement. Back out.
Yeah.
Back
Yeah.
out.
Well, yeah, if you
I
read it,
get
he's
that
like,
too.
we believe it's great. But if you feel that strongly about not playing with others, go ahead and I guess you can switch it off on this particular mode.
And so you caught the same kind of like emotion that I got from that. And that to me, that's disheartening right there. Because if like Mooch said, Xbox has been the king of options. Why do you put a barrier there then and say, well, yeah, we're the king of options?
Because they want to marry. Because they want to marry the player pool. That's their agenda going forward. No, you don't understand. Like, that's what Microsoft. This is what they want. They want that everywhere, everything, everybody, all inclusive, and giving us that option doesn't obligate those things to be melded together the way they want. So
Knox, when me and Crap first started talking about this, and me and Crap, we don't agree on a lot of things, but there are some things. This is one of them. When it came to the play anywhere and PC gamers and having to play with PC gamers, we know there's a clear advantage with people who know how to use mouse and keyboard, who have their PCs and stuff like that. And we were like, well, they should give us the option to turn it off. But I think this is a byproduct. This is also a byproduct of, if you look at who's at the top of the Xbox office, you look at Phil Spencer, you look at Mike Ibarra, they're gamers. They're mostly PC gamers, though.
Yeah, Mike was posting PC shots of years. You know what I mean?
And you guys have to keep in mind too that Xbox players, although unlikely, still have the option to plug in a mouse and keyboard on their Xbox and do the same thing. So if you want to marry the pools, right? If you want to marry the PC player base and the Xbox player base, right? Do it. Have different lobbies. Here's a controller-only lobby. Even if you're playing on PC.
Dude, you sound like Anchorman from this past Sunday, brother.
It has to be. Well, I'm the one that brought that up. It wasn't Anchorman.
Right? You hear that?
I'm the one who said that. But and I'm saying it again. Just have different lobbies. Controller-only. PC players, Xbox players, you got to have a controller either way, and then it's not an issue.
Yeah, because sometimes I play on my PC, but I use a controller. I can't stand keyboard and mouse.
Correct. Because
why did Microsoft?
I did it.
I understand.
Let me real quick.
Go ahead and finish, bro.
They should have an option where it is controller only. If you're on PC, it should have two switches. Whether you want to play with PC and whether you want to play with keyboard and mouse, or you want to use people with only controllers. That's not a hard option to do. They can implement that.
Absolutely. And that's
I like to play in triple screen. I love seeing these games in triple screen, bro. Like the old Xbox 360 days, man. You get 3 Xboxes, you play your game in triple screen. I love that when I play my Microsoft games in triple screen. They need to implement, just to switch off the keyboard and mouse and just controller only.
Or why not do it like Fortnite, right? So Fortnite does it by your input device.
Yep.
So the Switch, like Microsoft's world, the Switch would play with console. Like that's my opinion of what they're doing, right? Yes. Like the mobile people will play with the console. Like I think that's what Microsoft's going to do. It's wrong to do that because you're at a huge disadvantage. So Microsoft just wants what was once a very robust, fair, even balanced online system. And that's my fear all along with this was now they're just going to mishmash people together. They're losing people on the Xbox side, and I know Xbox probably won't agree, but less people are buying.
That's not why they're doing.
Less people are buying Xbox, and they want people to have people to play against, right? The whole reason why they allowed crossplay with the last Gears was because the PC version was dead, so they needed people to play against. So they were like, "Hey, we should do the crossplay thing." I think that it should always be an option. The fact that they always have it on, I mean, that's one thing, right? Like it's always on.
That's actually
give us the option.
Me and Crap had this discussion back with Gears 4, and then it came up again, of course, with Sea of Thieves. I've got to agree with you. Here's the thing that's really alarming. The fact that they want it in there, I get it. We've all explained exactly why. They want to have that player pool be larger. I get it. I totally do. And if we were all at the executive table, we'd all probably be like, well, we got to do it. But the real shocking thing here, Crap, is what you just said, that it's default on.
Yep.
Most
people don't even realize that it's not even
called. It's not called deliberately.
Hold on, let me pay a couple bills. Midway 7 Monster says, "Shout out to Mooch and Crap, first gaming podcasters I listen to. I hear the passion and all the opinions. Much respect into what We all won as gamers. And then also
Thank you,
Carl
Midway.
McDonald has been playing Gears 5 on PC, and I can tell when I'm come across somebody playing on Xbox because I feel like I'm picking on someone with.
Mhm.
Wow.
That's true. It's
Crap,
true,
you got
brother.
one before that from Carlos Torres.
Hold on, let me see. Carlo. Oh, Rumple Foreskin too. Shout out to him. John Blue. John G says new NBA 2K20 Xbox One X, but no Gears 5 Xbox One X. I don't know what he's talking about.
Like a console.
I think
Gear-
they're-
Oh,
Gear
yeah,
console.
yeah. Why didn't we get a console? I don't know.
Uh,
Carlos
what?
Torres. Yeah, we got no custom console. Carlos Torres says, in the words of the great Knox, "Battle turds." And Crapgamer, man, it was great destroying. He says, "Hey, crap, it was great. It was great."
Become a thing, man. Yeah.
Listen to this. He's basically saying this too. He goes, "It was great destroying those Xbox players from my nice PC.
Yeah.
Great show, guys. Look, the PC dude, and this is exactly what I've been saying.
But see, yo, hold
was-
on. Phil and Mike, they don't think that there's a difference, though. That's the biggest thing. Like the people at the top of Xbox executives over there.
No,
like,
they know
when
there's
you-
a difference. They know there's a
they-
difference.
they
It's,
That's why they're
downplay it,
playing
like,
on PC.
Yeah, they absolutely know. It's like Mooch said, bro. It's deliberately done. It's deliberately
My
done.
son can play mouse and keyboard, right? And he goes over to Fortnite, right? He plays on the Xbox too. He says he gets more hits on Fortnite when I let him play on my PC with the mouse and keyboard than he does when he's playing
Listen,
on the Xbox.
the cell
It's
phone
true.
companies do the same thing. Every app you download, it doesn't matter what it is, all has location services immediately on. You've got to go in and shut that off. You know what I mean? Or you have to shut. They do this so they do that for collecting data. In this case, they're doing it because they want the people thrown into this big pit of multiplayer. It's done deliberately.
But tell them get a controller then.
and there's gonna-
controllers
and-
work with Xbox.
And you know,
I mean, the PC.
That's true, X-Man.
Crap brought it up, right? Crap said, like, they did it with Gears 4 because they needed people for PC players to play. But the big difference here is Gears 4 was on the shit Windows Store. Gears 5 is going to be on Steam, right?
Yeah.
It's gonna run smooth
So
on things.
Is it crossplay with Steam or is it just crossplay with
That's that
Windows?
question, yeah.
I don't. That's the
I don't
part I
think
don't
it's
know.
gonna be.
I'm gonna assume Gears is Gears, and it's gonna just be. I think they're gonna deliberately do it. You know how many people are gonna play it from Steam?
A lot.
And no one's
A
gonna
lot.
get
Their
it.
own party chat. They got teams.
Yeah.
They got their
Yep.
own stuff. They
And
got
they'll
their
make
own
them
services.
use the Xbox Live app with Steam running with Steam. Microsoft is they slick, bro.
That is weird. That is weird. I don't know. Like I'm looking forward to see if there's gonna be Steam crossplay. I don't know.
Because Steam, if you download a game from Steam, believe it or not, no matter what game you get, it always runs smooth.
Yo, Crap.
And they update
Yeah.
it constantly.
Yeah.
Crap,
So
I
it's gonna
gotta
be a
say
big
something
difference.
here because ever since the whole like Alan Wake thing and stuff like that, if you ever notice when we talk about Xbox exclusives, these PlayStation diehards said we had trash exclusives when it comes to even Halo, Gears, and Forza. But when we talk about them, there's at least one person in the chat is like, you know what? Give Gears to PlayStation. You know what? Give Halo to PlayStation. I thought you guys didn't want to play these games.
Well, I think
'Cause they
that's
were
just something. Look, that's just something they say. That's like a fanboy thing. I think like where I'm at now, it's easy to see that. Like whatever, same. It goes for both sides, right? Like Xbox dudes would be like, man, we don't even want Spider-Man. We'll just play Spider-Man 2 on the Xbox One, right? Like, but if Spider-Man were to come to Xbox,
Not,
they'd be like,
not unless they step up
they'd be-
their
They'll
game,
be able
brother.
to play Gears on the PlayStation because the cloud's going to be over there on the PlayStation too. Xbox, they want it everywhere.
yeah. I mean, eventually, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the plan. Whenever you hear him talk about that stuff, and I think it was Predator sent me what Satya Nadella was saying. He's like, our end game, blah blah blah. We want our games everywhere.
Yeah, you can
You
play
know?
Office 365 and Gears
Yeah.
of War at the same time.
You
'Cause I
can.
want-
I'll
I
take
want
it.
to do
He
that.
said you could play Office.
While taking a poop. Here's something I want to talk about since we missed out. We didn't get to talk about this because we had no Crossfire last weekend, no M&C. Xbox One sales dropped 48% year on year.
Yeah.
Xbox overall dropped 10% and revenue dropped 3%.
And they're not mad about it either.
They're not. Well, here's the thing. They're for some reason they're not bad about it. They're like they spun this into a win. I don't like. I never seen. You know what? I've never seen anything like it. Like I've made some incredible damage controlling videos in my life years ago. Early on, me and Z, DX12. Like just we were having a good time entertaining people. and some crazy damage control stuff, right? Like I can remember when Titanfall was supposed to win an NPD for Xbox One and it didn't. And we were sitting there in the pre-room. Yeah, we were sitting in the pre-room like, how the hell are we going to damage control this? You know, in fact, I remember naming BGST a couple times damage control podcast, something that was funny as hell. But yeah, so Xbox drops almost 50% in sales year on year, and they already weren't selling great. Overall, even the revenue dropped. So their Xbox Live users went up, which again,
the
when I was
dollar.
talking, yeah, this is the thing. They went up to 65 million, but somebody brought this up to me. What about all these spam bots that have been created lately that are sending out spam to people? Because I get a lot of these. Those count, you know. Yeah, exactly. So also this is due to record mobile and like PC accounts or whatever. So 65 million people, but the revenue actually dropped because these are a lot of people that aren't paying or spending any money, or you know, they paid that dollar for Xbox Live or not Xbox Live, but for Game Pass. So again, a 50% drop is quite huge. Mooch, like, what do you think about this in terms of you know, because they go, Microsoft's own damage control to this was, well, it's fatigue because gamers are ready for next gen. But when you look at it, look, Sony's going to have theirs out at the end of next week or whatever.
I think it is, Crappy. I mean, you got to look at the numbers, right? So here's the situation. Their answer isn't wrong, but where there's something to be alarmed about is the percentage, okay? So they're right. Last year of a generation, you're going to see a decline in Xbox. You're going to see a decline in PlayStation 4 sales from what we've seen in previous years. That's to become expected. We've seen that trend generation after generation end. But to see the drastic drop at 48%, that's a bit alarming. That seems like people are just ignoring the brand completely. It's one thing when you say, okay, we see the next generation is on the horizon, and you see the sales kind of dwindle slowly. To see a 50% drop, and then the revenue, actually, the percentage drop, that's where it's alarming. So their statement isn't wrong. But let me tell you something. That's one of those things where they're kind of like, well, we expected that. We expected to go down the last year, but in this generation sales rate, I get it. But while they're doing that, they're chewing their nails back to their knuckles. You know, I mean, they're definitely not happy with these numbers. So they can say whatever they want in PR world, but realistically, it is something to be alarmed about, because I think it's something that Crap's been saying for a few weeks now. And it's something that, you know, you got to sit back and wonder, you know, Xbox is doing a lot of things right. They are. But in doing those right things, are they going to retain the customers that they've had for so many years? That's yet to be seen. We don't know if this new direction that Microsoft is full-fledged going into next year, maybe what they're doing, we've all said this before, right? Microsoft's doing the right thing like they've done in the past, but they're doing it too early. They're doing it too early.
I won't say that
a couple of weeks ago, remember?
Say again?
I tried to say that a couple of weeks ago about they're doing a lot of.
You did, X-Men. You did. No, X-Men. You have said that multiple times, especially in the MC chat. You know, I got to agree with you. I mean, that's my thing. I think that they're not doing the wrong thing, Xbot, but they're doing this so quick. You can see that people are clamoring still to go buy a PS5 and a Scarlet. People want to go spend their money on a new piece of hardware that's super powerful that they can put underneath their dedicated television set. Believe it or not, people still have TVs and watch TV. That's crazy. But you know,
around this time, because Microsoft and EA are good. They used to have the John Madden package. Every year, you would see it advertised on TV all the time, right before Madden. Madden's coming out early this year. Not one lick of John Madden advertising in the last 2 to 3 years.
It's almost August. You're right.
Yeah.
Not one last. And I'm like, it did not, this non-advertising, I know.
There's no advertising anywhere. And I know everyone says YouTube. I get it.
Phil got in there. Matrick always threw out advertising before he got knocked out. But Phil, it's like he just stopped it. Totally.
Yeah.
Well, if you ever bring up advertising to Greenberg, he goes, well, that's the way they used to do it in old antiquated models. We don't really do that anymore.
And that's why you sold as many Xboxes as you sold.
Well, no, but then they spent $2 million on that production they did of Inside Xbox, where they flew the entire Xbox staff over to England to do donuts in a McLaren.
When advertising is so much cheaper.
Oh, can I get hired by Xbox?
$2 million. You know what I mean? They did a lot of commercials for the same amount of money they spent sending over Major Nelson and Jeff Rubenstein to do donuts.
Hey, they realized
in a Maserati.
Hey, they realized that Greenberg spent a lot of the advertising budget on new Nikes, And then also they spent it on those Legos to build that car for the stage at E3. So
like I said, the money's there. They're choosing not to do TV because they're looking. Listen, there's a lot of things. Okay, you are only as powerful as the data you have, and metrics are a big deal. Believe me, nobody knows that more than me. I get that. I truly
Nobody
do.
looks at that more than Microsoft.
Absolutely, but sometimes you can be blinded by the numbers, okay?
Well,
and I think that they have to understand that there's still traditional advertising that works. If anybody, listen, this stuff, Xbot. I mean,
well, you're veering off, man. When it comes to the whole 3%, there's just something I wanted to say on there because
go ahead.
It was thrown in there about getting Game Pass, Ultimate Game Pass for $1, and that would bring it down, and that is something that they would fully expect. Here's why, and I was going to make a video on this, but when it comes down to it, a lot of people are like, man, they're going to be losing out money. They're, what are they doing? They're giving away to everybody and stuff like that. They are getting gamers accustomed to when it comes out in 2020, you look at xCloud, Game Pass, everything like that. They are getting the players accustomed to that kind of like model now. Of course, they're giving it away. Of course, there's going to be some type of percentage loss when it comes to money from Xbox Live and everything like that, because they are preparing their consumer base going into 2020. Now, even when it comes down to the hardware, it's like they gave everybody this Game Pass. So how are you going to market the Scarlet? This crazy powerful console that you don't even have to buy a game for when you go and pick it up. Because you have Game Pass, the entire first-party launch lineup is going to be right there available. As soon as you power up your system, all you have to do is download it and go.
It's just making sure that you have some decent stuff for that lineup, though. You know what I mean? You got to have great content.
Well, Halo
they're not going to make a Halo Scarlet console. How much you want to bet they're not going to bundle that together?
They probably won't, since it's a launch thing, right? And you would figure.
I remember when a few Xboxes launched, we got a couple of titles, like right off the bat that was included with the consoles. They don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
They add it later. Me and my son, I'm not trying to change the subject, but me and my son had a discussion today. And we were talking about Game Pass versus, make the game come out 1 month later. Games cost a lot of money. So you have Game Pass, but you get that direct hit from the game being bought day one. And then you can have later adopters come in if they feel like they want it. Once they see how many people are playing it and love it, they might say, okay, I got Game Pass, but I'll still get a discount on the game, even though I know it's coming out next month. Why don't they do that? That just bothers me.
Yeah, I don't understand. Same thing happened with day and date to PC and day and date to Game Pass. Yep. And I said, geez, if I was working for Microsoft, the first thing I would have said was, you could see it's what have you done for me lately in gaming? And Sony's going to do this. Even if PS Now becomes something similar in the future, they're not going to do day and date because they're making tens of millions of dollars on these games. Yep. So my point being is that they're selling 10 million copies. Pardon me, it's making way more than that. My point is Microsoft could have said, all our first-party games in 30 days will be going to Game Pass. You're still going to get a hardcore dedicated group, and one of them being, I'll speak for Crap, and I know for a fact that Crap would still go buy that game.
I would have bought Gears day one.
Absolutely. Yep. A lot of people would have, me too included. Yeah. My point is because here's the thing, when the game comes out, who wants to wait 30 days on social media the way it is? Social media is like, now. Even when you get something new, like if somebody gets something newer 60 seconds later, you're like, I want that newer one. So it's like everybody wants the new thing now. So this thing in day and date, they literally shot themselves in the foot. And they could have double dipped. And they
didn't though, because
they would have had to buy it digitally. They would have had to buy it digitally.
Here's the other thing that
it creates a continuous revenue flow in terms of business wise. Like that, the subscription.
No, see, here's the thing. Everybody, Xbot, let me explain something to you really quick. Everyone's a little punch love drunk, okay? On this whole, on this Game Pass being $1. Once it's not $1 anymore, and not everyone you talk to on social media has it, when it goes to $14.99, hear me out for a second. More people are going to do what they do on Netflix and what Knox did prior to this deal, okay? Like when the new Marvel thing came out, people went and bought Netflix for a month or 2 months. Done.
Or Stranger Things, right?
Or Stranger Things.
Hey, what did
So
people
I'm
do
saying-
that? What did people do to HBO subscriptions when
Right,
Game of Thrones
the
ended?
minute Game of Thrones is done, whoop, see you later.
Yeah,
So my
but that
point being-
Watchman looks hot.
Yeah,
though.
but here, don't change the subject. My point being is, okay?
You wouldn't see the fine print, though,
No, because
Moose.
everybody does this all the time. They're like, it's $1. It's not $1 forever.
Nope.
This is just
No,
to get you in the
But
pool.
that's the bet, dude. That right there is the
Yeah,
bet.
but I'm telling you, it's a bad bet, and this is my thing because
We'll see.
everyone's 1 year, 2 year, or 3 years going to run out eventually. Okay, and when that happens, everyone's going to go back to a la carte, going month to month. And the situation here is that they could have done it so that I'm still okay with what they did. All I'm saying is, why not bump that 30 days or 60 days? Let the what it
Damn,
does.
don't go 60 days and nobody's
That's
going to buy your subscription.
That's
Xbox-
because they want to phase out consoles, Mooch.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
Damn, man.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If
Well,
you wait,
I said
Xbox,
that
if you
a long
wait
time
the
ago.
30 days, it gives a relevance. It gives a reason to own the box.
Yep.
You know, and it's
But
like
they don't.
now,
But they
I'm
don't
telling
care.
you, what I'm saying on that front is the way that Xbox is saying is like the way that they're thinking, and I'm not saying they're right. I'm not saying they're wrong. What they're thinking is if you are a console gamer, then you will buy a console and you will play a game on
that
the console.
now here's my
That's-
thing.
that's
You
what
can't
they
say.
think.
But there's where they're wrong because you can't tell people that they can play your games anywhere, and especially come this October that they can play it on anything, an iPod, a game, anything, a phone, a device, a tablet, a laptop. You're telling them they can play anywhere, and you're offering it everywhere for $1 anytime. But by the way, drop $600 on this box if you don't mind.
Exactly.
Why? Like that's the thing. And
Well,
it's
we
like,
don't know how much it's going to be. Moose.
so my point, 500, 400, 300, it doesn't matter. Because you already have 17 devices in your house that can play Gears 5. So
But
my
you guys
point
said that
being is,
streaming is not the same experience, though.
But the
I
thing
don't,
is, the
that has
thing
nothing to do with what I'm talking about.
No,
thing is-
it does for
it
any
doesn't.
device. It's going to
I
be
don't-
streamed.
And
I
what is it? It
understand
doesn't matter what us guys say. It matters what them guys in Redmond say.
Well, no, hold on. I disagree with that right there, Mooch, because it matters what we say. And
No,
when
I'm
and
talking
when,
about
and when
streaming,
Microsoft,
streaming.
no, I know. And when Microsoft sees that the direction they're going is, to me, it's going to be a failure. We're never going to want nothing but streaming. They need to put value back
Streaming
into
is
their
an
console.
option, guys. Streaming
Yeah,
is
but-
always an option. It
but to
will.
me-
It will be.
But the
Okay.
way but the way I feel right now, Mooch, I feel like Microsoft they want to pursue that avenue wholeheartedly. And if they cannot make a console anymore
They want to.
and have you subscribe and just permanently subscribe, that's
Knox.
why they're putting Gears Day and Date in there.
Knox, you're only partially right. They want you to believe in streaming. They want you to believe in your PC. They want you to believe that your phone can handle it. They're not saying just streaming because they want you to use your PC.
Don't
Believe me,
say
they
yet.
do.
But they're going to stream it to your PC. Well, I mean,
No,
unless
they aren't.
No.
I
So
got a
you're gonna-
question.
you're going to download it.
I mean, you can. You
Go to
can.
something
download it
else, guys.
natively, but
You can. But
It's on the same line. Can you stream with your older consoles when they start the streaming service?
what do you mean?
That's a
Will
great
you be able to
question.
stream with your
OGX?
older consoles?
You
And
should
if you
be-
can stream
if
with
it's
your
an app.
older consoles, right, then technically, shouldn't you be able to stream in 4K, which is what they say?
Any console should be capable of being an xCloud receiver, I would imagine, right? Because
Right.
look at Stadia. Stadia's using a little small handheld device. So
Right.
even the Xbox Fat should be able to handle a streaming app. I get what you're saying.
In 4K. But if you can stream in 4K on the older consoles, why would you buy the next Xbox?
That's the question.
Why
Well,
would
let me
buy it?
ask you guys this, okay? What do you think about the Xbox brand as a whole? The console itself, maybe not the brand, but the console itself, less relevant now than it's maybe ever been.
Yes.
Mainly, and
So-
I'm going to say for me personally, it is because Xbox was the talk of the town. They advertised it in movies, TV shows. I can remember I brought this up before, watching an episode of Smallville. They had Kinect on it. They had Windows phones on it. You watch movies and like Real Steel with Hugh Jackman, and they have Xbox 720 up in the stands. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they used to advertise everywhere.
So the
And-
Xbox and grandma's boy.
Exactly. And Grandma's Boy, like that whole movie was built around it, basically an
Mhm.
Xbox. So, is there anything that Microsoft
Love
can
that
do
movie.
to get that relevancy back? I mean, in my opinion, it's just great exclusives, great
Gotta be in the
content.
game,
Yeah, like I know, and this isn't a knock on you, XBot, or anything like. And if you like Battletoads and Bleeding Edge, I think that's fine. But they need. I know, but listen. They need some games that brings them to relevancy, that has everybody talking. You know what I mean? Not just a few that own the platform. They go, that's not bad looking. I'm excited for it. Right?
Good thing Playground's open world team is working on a game. Good thing Ninja Theory's working on a single player game as well.
And I hope that they have.
Good thing we're getting Halo Infinite next year, brother.
But I want more from Microsoft.
A lot of people look at Halo as long in the tooth, and I think it's going to be a great Halo, right? But I think you need something that's going to draw people back to the brand and go, they are serious about this, right?
You need to do yourself a favor. Go into the Halo community, like on Reddit and other like social media, and see the hype that is being drawn up for Halo Infinite. With them going back to like that more classic Halo.
Yeah, but XBot, you gotta understand something. I like Star Wars, but I don't dress up like Chewbacca for the premiere. You know, I mean, my point being, I'm not gonna go hang out with that group. I mean, I understand you can't go to like a fan club and be like, "Hey, what do you guys think of Halo? We love it."
Yeah, but dude, this is one of the.
Of course, you love it.
Gaming community.
You're all dressed like Master Chief. I get it.
You're downplaying the numbers that are in that community.
It's not downplaying. You have to listen to XBot. You're not listening to Sir X-Man. Sir X-Man's. It's great that Sir X-Man's on because he's a guest and he's a hardcore gamer. My point is that what draws, to answer Crap's initial question, is how do they get that back? It's marketing and it's new games.
And they're working on those.
We'll show them.
Are we going to say the same thing for 3 to 4 years?
I am, because we've already had to wait those 3 to 4
3 years.
Yeah.
See, while you guys are doing that, you know what? I'm going to be playing the new Halo.
Battletoads.
Battletoads. Like 13 months. You got 13, 14 months for the new Halo.
That's going to be playing Destiny 2. That's going to be playing
Destiny 2. I am going to have fun as
it don't give me.
And I will let you guys talk about that every single day for how many years before the newer games come out, whether it's 2 or whether it's 4 years. You guys can do that every day. I'm going to have fun.
XBot, people are going to leave, brother. Nobody's hanging around for 4 years.
XBot, how many hours do you have in Fallout 4?
Fallout 4?
Yeah.
I didn't even buy it. What are you talking about?
Okay. There goes one company out for you. So I mean, what I'm saying is that there's games coming out, but you're not going to play Outer Worlds. Like, you're not going to play that.
Xbox. Here's an example.
You're not going to play. You're not going to play.
I fired up my old Xbox One, the OG Xbox One. I have 30 original Xbox games that I don't know why Microsoft isn't bringing them back with part 2s or brand new remakes.
That's all well and good, but hold on one second, because Mooch was talking about, well, that's one game out. Mooch, weren't you one of the people saying that they are coming out, whether it's multi-plat or exclusives, they are coming out with new game. See, I'm not the type of person that's going to go in and jump on every single game. All right, I have interest in certain games that I want to invest in and I want to play. All right, with Game Pass, I have a whole bunch of games that I can just try out and see if I like it. If I like them, I'll play them. But other than that, I'm not sitting there trying to race against the new game release that's coming out. Oh, I got to get this game done so this way I can do that one and stuff like that. I don't get caught up in that.
That's not at all what I'm referring to. My point being is that you're sitting there telling me new games are coming soon. What I'm saying is we've waited 3 years. A few of the games, I'm using you as an example. You're not a Fallout guy. That means you're not an Outer Worlds person. I understand.
Dude, I don't even like the way Outer Worlds looks.
Okay, so that's what my point is. That's a
my
game.
World bot.
That's a game that's coming out soon that you have no interest in. So that's one company out. What I'm saying is Bleeding Edge. You're not going to play much of that. That's out.
Hold on, Mooch. I am going to call you out right there. How can you tell me I'm not going to play a lot of that?
I can tell you exactly how, because you like games like Gangs Beast, right? You played Gang Beast, right? And you played another game that you played a lot. You call that a lot in air quotes. You've got like 75,000 days into Destiny and Halo. That's a lot. The fact that you played 3 days of Gang Beasts and 3 days of Bleeding Edge is not a lot, dude. So my point is like,
see, this is where the individual is different, because to me, that looks like the spiritual successor to Kung Fu Chaos. And if you had any idea how much I played that game on the OG Xbox, it would blow your mind. Dude.
Hey, Carlos Torres says, "Bot the last bastion of Xbox."
Here we go, brother.
But see, I mean, Xbox, you take it, and the thing is, it's not to take it literal. I know you're gonna play. We're all gonna try the games. I get that, and you may even play it for 3 days and stream it for 6. Okay, but my point being is that you like that. You like that. But my point being is that it's just not going to be something you're playing forever, or even for like 2 months. You're not. So my thing is that because you have a backlog of games, you have other things to play. There's multi-plats coming out that I know you can't wait to play as much as everybody else. So those are just not game stoppers. And those are the games that we have to look forward to for the foreseeable future. And I know everyone's like, Halo's coming out. I get it. But like, it's
Brother,
not
a year and a half from now.
That's not the stay-all end-all.
Tell me I'm not going to play Halo.
You are going to play Halo. That's what you're going to put. You're going to put like, you're not even going to measure it in hours. You're going to measure it in like millennia. I get it. You know, so I mean, and I'm with Xbox. You guys understand Xbox. You are very truly.
I'm a Halo campaign dude, so I'm hoping that it's a great campaign.
Oh crap! We should get into it together then, man. We'll go through the first time, like me, you, and Mooch or something like that.
Yeah,
well,
man, absolutely.
I'm very excited for Halo. I'm gonna be playing the shit out of Halo. But my point thing is, it's just like after Halo, I won't be playing it as much as you, Bot. So I mean, once I beat the campaign and then I get my fill of the multiplayer, I've never played a lot of Halo multiplayer. For me, Halo's the campaign. For Gears, it's a 50-50. I really dig both. But for Halo, it's the campaign.
I will be happy. I'm going to go in and play the campaign, so I will definitely kind of like put out my thoughts and opinions when it releases on the campaign when I beat it. And then I'll probably run into Horde a few times because, you know, within the Xbox community we're in, when a Gears drops, man, everybody goes to Horde mode, right?
But Xbox, me and Mooch's theory is, what have they done for us lately?
Right.
That's the big theory. It's not what they're doing a year and a half now on the launch of the Scarlet.
No, I hear you, but I don't hear the. See, with that, and now this is where I get crucified in the chat. Get ready, guys.
Do your thing, bro.
Get the torches, get the pitchforks. when it came to Crackdown, I feel like Crackdown is an underrated game. Now, granted, the multiplayer, you know, is absolutely dead right now. All right, and the main reason for that was you weren't able to bring your friends, right? You weren't able to bring your friends.
They waited too long.
I could have brought my whole family. I wouldn't want to play that.
The actual game of Crackdown, the actual campaign, I really had fun with. I really liked that game. I played that.
I beat the game. I beat the campaign. Okay. I think I did. I agree. It was definitely hashtag fun.
Sea of Thieves, when it came out, it was definitely content.
Crap.
Go in and play it.
Listen, Xbox, we had a good time when we played it, but I haven't touched that game since we all got together.
So last time I played it too.
You know, and I got news for you. I see things coming out now. They're like, people are like, look, I got my new sale, and I'm like, who cares? Like, I mean, it's like that game to me. For me personally, I think at this point, me and Sea of Thieves I'm done with Sea of Thieves. You know,
there's been so many games after that game.
Yeah, exactly. You know,
for me personally, it's like the games that they have, the quality just isn't there for most of them. Like Sea of Thieves was fun when we played it, but again, I'm like in your camp, Mooch. I'm probably not going to play it unless it's some kind of thing. Let's get the boys together and have a drink, an adult beverage, and yeah, and play the game. Like I'm with you on that. But you know, I think what most people are asking for, Bot, is like something new AAA wise with some kind of campaign to it.
But see, here's the thing: you can ask for that. But they just acquired studios within the last 2 years.
But why is it that Sony?
What have they been doing for the past 3 years? So,
what they did is they put all their money to getting the Xbox One X out. And granted, whether it was right or wrong, their thought process on that is when we do that, we have this project where we're bringing up to date the games that we already have. Yeah. To match in terms of power.
Xbox,
whether it's right or wrong, their plan.
Weenie says Mooch hit it, then quit it. So that's the quote for the night.
That's funny. Money to the SAT Xbox, the SATA Xbox. I thought they were putting all their money to the SATA Xbox. You know, the discless one.
Oh no,
Sony. Listen, Xbox.
Dude, I still don't know why they released that.
Xbox. Let me give you an example though. When we're sitting here, we're like, well, they just got these companies. Let's give them forever. They said
No, let's give
Sony.
them a,
Listen,
give them a development
Sony.
cycle.
Sony separated from signed a deal with Kojima, right? And everyone's like, that's going to be like 7 years from now. He's got his game out in 3 years, and he takes forever usually. So, like, my point being is that, like, these guys are sitting there forever. I mean, if the initiative hires more people, guys, stop hiring people. Make a game.
Hey, listen. This
Microsoft get Crytek. I mean, Crytek is just right for the picking.
No, they're not. No, they're not.
Okay.
Hey, this is what I would point out, right? Why is it that Sony, they have, even though it's not your guys' bag, has an exclusive Iron Man VR game? How did they get a deal with another Marvel product? How did they get a deal with the Spider-Man exclusive deal? Why is it that the Switch has a really fun Marvel Ultimate Alliance deal that's made by Team Ninja, and Microsoft couldn't think outside the box and do something like that with the franchise?
They don't believe in Microsoft crap. They don't believe in them.
No, that's second-party deals, though.
Well, they've done plenty of second-party.
Bill
Look,
doesn't want to
Dead Rising
not work for them this generation.
Phil
at all.
has beguiled everybody. Yes, Snake Oil Phil
Snake
has
Oil
beguiled
Phil.
everybody into believing that keeping games out of your hands benefits you.
Well, let me ask you this. Okay, look, Dead Rising 3, one of my favorite launch games. The Microsoft went to Capcom and goes, hey, what are you doing with this IP? If we fund it, will you make it for us? And they did. And it was probably the best Dead Rising game, right? It was it looked so much better than the fourth. The fourth one looked like it was made on
Dead Rising?
Yeah, Dead Rising 3. Yeah, it was great. It was like, it looked darker. It was funny as hell still, but it looked so good. It had no two zombies looked alike. Then the fourth one, it looked like they made it on a mooch and crap budget, and it was just, it was just like, it was like almost like a double A version of that, like an arcade version.
Said, I remember doing this on an MNC show. I said this is a great idea. So you have this thing with Dead Rising 4, right? Which it looked like a complete step backwards from 3, but nonetheless, I'm like, they have this Halloween theme, and they like the games as a service. Every single right after Thanksgiving, have a DLC for $10 or $20, and it's take Frank back out there and do another Christmas theme thing. Kind of make the game, like everyone's like Home Alone,
like
and all
different holidays and stuff like that.
Just stick with Christmas. Like, everyone make a tradition. I'll be like, I can't wait to finish you eat your Thanksgiving bird. You're gonna jump back into Dead Rising. No, there's nothing, no thought process with that. There's no double A. He hasn't done any double A game purchases crap that I can think of. Has Phil signed any of those?
Nope.
No, I don't know that he did.
I mean, if I'm wrong, let me know. I'm just saying. But like you say, you see Nintendo with that Marvel Alliance game, and that's a lot of fun.
Apparently, that game lit up the charts. Nintendo released that and Mario Maker 2 in the same month.
I want that game so bad for Xbox.
I know, like, holy crap! I would love to play that on Xbox.
It was fun on Xbox. Me and my friends got together and we played it like ridiculously. It just didn't stop.
Yeah, exactly.
Got Bayonetta too, didn't they?
Yeah.
Bayonetta 3 is going to be exclusive.
Yo, crap! Can I read the next super chat here?
Yeah, go ahead.
Right. Well, it's kind of to me. That's why I asked. Yo, huge shout out for Carlos Torres hitting up that super chat, so showing love and support for the show. He says, "Damn bot, stop making them spend money. If they just show me effing Fable, I would not bitch. I would defend Xbox to them, but screw them. All in love Xbox." Basically, he's saying that all he wants is another Fable, and he wants them to show it. And dude, I am in that boat with you, man. I even said with this past E3, if they just threw up the name Fable at the end of their conference.
All I wanted when people go, crap, you're very hard on Xbox now. What's wrong? You seem bitter.
Stipulations. And
the only two things I wanted was a new AAA IP with some kind of single player element and Fable splashed up there. That is it. That's after 4.5 years. That's all I wanted. That, and they couldn't even give me that.
Before I called you out, you said you wanted a new game, and I kept telling you Bleeding Edge is a new game. So
that's why because people wanted a big AAA game with some kind of single player in it.
But it's a copy of Overwatch, though.
That's fine. Look, I hope it does. Listen, I hope it does well for them, and I hope it does well for Microsoft.
It's a similar art style, but that does not mean the gameplay mechanics and everything like that are the same.
I just think a lot of people want something from Microsoft to prove that they've changed. Like Microsoft, everybody's like, we could change, you can change, we all can change. I think we want to see Microsoft has changed enough to do some single player stuff.
I hear you, and you know, with the criticism when it comes to marketing and stuff like that, I am in the same boat with you guys. I know I don't say it every single day, all that good stuff, but I'm in the same boat with you with that. All right. But when it comes down to it, I know that they are making new games. I know that there are new games in development. I know that there are new single player games in development. So with that being said, yes, they screwed up to a certain aspect this generation, but it takes a game development cycle for something new to come out.
Yeah, listen, dual purpose says bleeding L.
Oh no,
Xbox One,
Well,
Xbox One 4K says bleeding edge will be the new Crackdown.
And a few others. We're old school. We remember when games did not take that long to come out.
Well, they're a lot bigger now, though, brother. They're doing 4K assets, everything like that, man.
I know that, but even before the 4K assets, before the Xbox One X, games were still taking a long time.
Brother, yo, if you look at last generation when it comes to system RAM, and that's what these games are.
I'm not talking about 360.
No. This is what I'm saying though. Like we went from 1,500 megabytes to like what 7 gigs. You know, when it comes to system RAM, and to develop a game that utilizes all that, you know, random access memory, it does take a while. It takes a long time, man.
Let me ask you guys this. So new Xbox home screen and dashboard coming soon.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah.
I think I hear my mom calling.
Yeah, revamped. Hey, Mooch, tell me if you've heard this one before. A revamped home screen coming soon and a new layout.
Wow.
Microsoft.
So they moved the boxes that were down below up, and the other box a little to the left.
Yes. And so again, okay, so let me point this out that this has been a continuing frustration. Not only that, but they kill off Cortana completely with this. So
that's a good thing.
Yeah, that whole spend $500 and Cortana and your Connect.
Man.
Yeah, like you get none of it. So
if you even said a word in your headset that started with C,
but
like they literally, she popped up. I was like, get out of here. I didn't even call her.
I got my Connect hooked up to my Xbox One X.
Yeah,
the minute the Xbox One X came out, the Connect was gone.
All you gotta do is get the adapter.
Even though Phil was like,
I have the adapter.
Hey, Phil's like, no, we're not killing Connect. Remember? Hey, everybody, hit the like button. Almost 600 watching. Let's see if we can get up over 200 likes. I'd really appreciate it. Yeah, Phil was like, we're not killing Connect, and then he's like, quick, kill the Connect, quick. Yeah. So please hit the like button, guys. I want to talk about this. The home screen is the first thing you see when you turn on the Xbox One, and they want to deliver an easy and seamless experience for you to navigate your console. Well, damn. 6 years in, and they want to give us an easy way experience, guys. Finally, we're getting it. We've heard your feedback
too. With
it looks like the original Dash almost.
Hey, we've heard your feedback, and we continue to iterate to home to get you into your gaming experience faster and keep more of your content front and center. With today's update, we're experimenting with the streamlined user interface. The first thing you'll notice is that we've removed the twist from the top of the home in favor of separate buttons that launch your gaming experiences. The goal is to let you jump into Xbox Game Pass, Mixer, Xbox Community, and the store quicker than ever. We've also shifted things around to make more room for your recently played titles. The new experimental home rolls out this week to select Xbox insiders in our alpha and alpha skip ahead rings. So they're calling it experimental.
I'm confused right now with what you was explaining on how to operate the dashboard already.
Listen, how can Microsoft, who does Windows for gosh sakes, how can they absolutely flub a UI so much over a 6-year period? This must be literally the 12th to 15th.
Redid Windows UI.
I know that, but listen, how can they not, like PlayStation 4 again? The same UI, the entire generation, super simple. It works. It loads. I don't have any problems with it. This one, I continually can't load my Hulu. My Hulu box isn't working. What can I say? I go to load up Hulu. It's like, oops, there was a problem. Wait a minute, and then see if it and waiting a minute never helps. I gotta restart my damn Xbox. Why is it that the only problem, the only issue that I have with this is the Xbox with this, right? Like these updates never work. They continually get slower and slower. It always tells me there's a problem, and I gotta reset my Xbox. Like Mooch,
I'm questioning the timing. And, you know, I had a good back and forth with Rand today on Twitter, and he made some good points that, you know, he showed some snapshots of the 360 era, and they did the same thing. here's my thing. In the early part of this generation, the UI ramp ups and
they did 3.
That was needed. That was needed. Okay. But my problem with this is the Scarlet's coming out in just a little over a year. I don't understand it because whatever they give us right now, it'll be similar, but it still has to be different. Nobody wants to plug in a brand new box and it looks like the one you had yesterday.
Well, they did it last year with the last generation with the 360. They made the newer Xbox 360 that came out. They changed up the UI to make it look like.
But it still was a little different for Xbox One when you plugged it in.
Clunky after they updated the 360. It really got clunky.
They only did a few, right? It was like there was the blades, and then they went to the next, and then they went to the last one. So 3 is a lot different than the amount of iterations that we've gotten on this.
But crap, to get to my point, and I'll let the panel speak to it, is just that's fine. Why not just launch this new, beautiful, fresh, flowing UI with the Scarlet?
Because they're going to launch
with a year left.
They're going to launch it later, right? They're gonna change it another couple times before then, Mooch.
Yeah, I'm gonna test it for you, Mooch.
Listen, we're gonna get a full new UI. It's that thing that they're doing. What is it? Where they're Redstone or whatever the hell it is. We're gonna get a totally uniform system.
You can get a Windows Lite UI.
Yeah, like it's gonna be how it is. Like, don't you guys hate how the store is now? Like when you go to download a 360 game, and it's like even like from the games with gold, and it's like, wait a minute, see price. And then it locks up for a second.
It makes you feel like you're going through a dark alley to get a 360
game. It does. So it's like, hey, we got this 360 game over here.
For real.
You know what I mean?
360 games I wanted to give people, and I just had to send them the money for. You can give money on the Xbox.
Yeah.
And I'm like, a gift is a gift. Money is totally different. You don't have that same feeling as when you give somebody a game. It's not the same. So why can't you gift a 360? On Steam, you can gift anything, even old games. Microsoft should have implemented that a long time ago.
Here's the thing: I like the way this new look. Well, don't you miss last gen when we had like official themes and stuff that we could buy? Like, I don't understand why they didn't roll that out this gen. Like, I hope when we go into next gen that we can take like they have all the features that we have now and then add to that even more. Because it seems like we went back and we went back a few steps, like with the stuff that we had on 360.
I like this new looking UI. Crap,
I do too. I like it too. But
at the same time, I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, so I do like it. I wouldn't have minded if that was what Scarlet launched with, because now whatever you end up liking, this just if you like this, it doesn't matter because they're going to change it again in November next year.
No, they're not. No,
you're going to get update after update after update. Every time they launch a new UI, your system has to get an update every month because they need to change some stuff that they didn't do right in the first update to change the screen. Every single time.
Hey, that's like the Xbox One X, right? We bought one to fix the problem of their original launch Xbox anyway, right? So it was like that's the way I always looked at it. I was like, we were paying for their mistake. It did get rid of the resolution issue though. But it's just one of those things where like we were constantly kind of paying for their mistakes. But I do like this one. It's just hilarious to me that here's another UI update. And guys, remember Snap?
I miss Snap.
I do too.
I am so glad Snap is gone. I am one of the few people.
I don't agree with that at all.
I am one of the few people. All right, I really couldn't care less when I'm playing a game.
Apparently, Xbox okay with no TV advertisements because TV's dead to him.
Dude, we don't have cable in my house.
Hey, Brian Baker says they didn't want themes because it would bog down the system. Swing and the miss by them because it runs like shit anyway.
I have a theme on my Xbox in the background.
Well, yeah, listen, you can put whatever you want in there. I have a screenshot for Sea of Thieves. Game of the generation, guys. So many people misquote me on this.
Luca, save me, please. Luca, save me.
Multiplayer. Give it to Luca. Yeah, so, I mean, does anybody else have any thoughts on this?
I think it, like I said, it kind of resembles going back to the first the first dashboard that we had, minus the live tile. And
that used to look like Windows 8. Yeah, it did.
I don't even care about the mixer thing. Like I always hated that. I was like, why
the
do
main live tile though, because you can back out of your game. It'll still be on pause. You can see it there. Like I would back out. I would go like make a pot of coffee or something. Going back in. It would zoom back to full screen, and you would continue doing what you were doing.
It was like my old Windows phone.
Yeah, and dude, I miss my Windows phone, but that's another.
Yeah, me
subject.
too. I know.
That's another subject.
Hey,
but
let's get up over 200 likes, y'all. It's gonna be great. Cortado gets the boot, by the way.
Bye bye.
So, yeah, I guess goodbye.
The weakest link. Goodbye.
Yeah, it is. It's not good. It's it makes me a little bit sad because I believe so. I believe so much. I believe so much into what Xbox was doing at the beginning of this generation. I can remember, because everybody had a Kinect at the beginning of the generation. I'm playing Call of Duty with my boys Grave and Hellhammer and some other friends, and everybody's like, Kinect screenshot or whatever the hell it is that you had to say. Like it was just so cool, because everybody was
screenshot.
Yeah, remember,
Xbox,
but at that time, Xbox, take a screenshot. It was
say it like 10 times, though.
Yeah, but at that time, dude, my friend Grave is he's Mexican, so it would never work for him, right? Anyway, you know what I mean? So it was like
the language.
Exactly.
The language.
I know. He had a hard time with it though, but it was funny. It's like
make a taco.
Exactly. Well,
no, you didn't go there with
listen, man. People like I like tacos, so come on. But anyway, I'm just trying to say is like, I like tacos with like ground turkey because I don't eat beef. But for me, I know, right? It's weird when people find that out about me.
Everywhere, dude.
I don't eat pig either. But
tacos, okay, those things nasty.
Well, no. Listen, so to me, it just reminded me of how much fun it was. When everybody, I believed in Xbox so much, it was like we have Snap, and it was like they really differentiated themselves from PlayStation at the beginning of the generation. They had great games. I thought Knack was garbage, and Killzone Shadowfall was garbage. I wasn't a huge fan of the hell's that game they launched with the following year, Infamous Second Son. I wasn't a huge fan of that. So Xbox, man, I put in so many hours in Titanfall 1 and Forza Motorsport 5 and Dead Rising 3, Rise. They had so many great games those first couple years.
With the Rise too, that was awesome.
And they had such a good, I believed in it so much what they were doing. That's why I was such a fan. That's why I'm so let down now, is because they've changed so much, in my opinion, to be something that they weren't to start with.
It's my generation too. I was talking to a couple people in the chat here crap about Snap. I mean, myself personally, I was probably the only one standing up and lighting a match when they showed Snap and the ability to be able to the fact that I could. Now, what I didn't like is how they ate up the screen the wrong way. They had that big gray bar coming down, the TV in the top right corner so small, and then the game took up maybe 3/4 of the screen. But my point being, I didn't care for that. That wasn't done very well. But the idea behind it, especially around football season, you guys, you know this. We talk about it on MNC all the time because we finish MNC and we go right into football games. I loved keeping on, especially when my Giants were playing a 4 o'clock or an 8 o'clock game. I still want to keep on tabs what's going on with the other teams. I'd keep the games on Fox, CBS, and watch those football games while I'm playing a game. It was fantastic. And, Jared, who was in the chat, he's like, who wants to put on their Xbox for TV? That was the whole pitch with the all-in-one. That's what the box was designed to do.
It had the ticker on the side too. They had to deal with ESPN.
That's right.
You had a sports ticker on the side of it.
And if you had
playing your game,
and I'll take one step further, sports. What Sir X-Man's talking about is right, because I have a ton of fantasy football leagues. You used to be able to put your ESPN fantasy football league in while you're playing a game, watch your players that you had on your team scoring and racking up points. Yeah. And that was just I don't understand how anybody could say that was not great.
Were you watching the Giants then? Because
I said, well, my fantasy team, I got everybody, but yes, I was watching. But I mean, I don't. A lot of people are like, oh, that's crazy. Whoever would want to put TV combined with video games?
I know some of my friends that had PlayStation that wish at the time when it was launching, they had wished they had Snap on the side of their console so they can watch their sports or whatever they're watching and still play the game. I had a lot of friends got a PS4 and wanted that.
It was a great look. It was a really good feature. I really liked it. I thought it was pretty cool.
Now, is there a rumor, crap? Is there I heard it's a strong rumor too that the Scarlet will not have an HDMI in.
Yeah, it's for games only.
That kind of sucks. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Now with Snap going and removed, you might go, well, Mooch, what do you give a shit about that now for? I like that if I just come home and first thing I do when I get home, you kick on your Xbox. And all of a sudden you get but you're connected to your community, your friends, you know? So like, even if you're watching the news or you're watching a TV show that you don't really care about, but you're like, I'm just watching TV, just kind of chatting, whatever. All of a sudden, bloop, the thing comes up and it goes, hey, Mooch, you want to play whatever, Gears of War 4? Yeah, man. That's a way to communicate. You know what I mean? It was awesome.
I'll be right there.
Yeah, it kept you in touch with everybody while you were still living your everyday life. It's fantastic. It's like if you were reading a book and then all of a sudden the book just goes like, boop. Yeah. Hey, you want to play some Gears? Absolutely. Who the fuck wants to read this book? I think it's a great idea.
Anyway, Mooch,
and now we don't got that. Now we got to go back. That means now you got to watch TV with your phone next to you.
Yeah, you do.
Damn it.
That's the way life goes. Hey, I got some good news for Xbox, guys. Everybody that thought it was all doom and gloom for us. No, sirree, Bob. Here we go.
Let's go.
The initiative hired some God of War designers, a group of them apparently. Obviously, as you guys know, this is one of the more interesting of the developers that Microsoft has. One of the ones that I'm most interested in. So they hired God of War level designers Ian Miller, Kai Jing, Chris O'Neill, and Ray Yamans, who also worked on the Tomb Raider series. So they hired 4 people who worked on the God of War games. They all joined an initiative from Sony's neighboring.
Is there going to be anybody left to make the God of War sequel?
Well, listen, they plucked these from right across the street because Santa Monica Studios is right over there. So former Motive and Naughty Dog senior designer Robert Ryan.
You probably left the trail of lattes right into the initiative and trapped them.
Exactly.
Microsoft was offering. That's probably what it was.
Exactly. So this is good. Fiona Chairback, the former talent acquisition lead at Sony Interactive, recently joined Microsoft to help with the expansion of Xbox Game Studios, with the current focus of staffing up the initiative. So this is the latest hire of the group that includes game director Daniel Nurberger, who was a game director of the Tomb Raider series, and lead designer Drew Murray, who held the same role of Insomniacs in Sunset Overdrive. Also, the studio's director of production, Brian Westergaard, also worked on God of War as senior managing producer.
Ooh.
So they've got a lot of people from these single player games.
Hey, crap.
You know what I've seen with the initiative? I've seen now, and they actually had it up on Twitter. I'm sure all you guys saw it, anyone that was watching on that. The initiative has now shown us everybody that works for their studio over and over again. You know what we haven't seen?
What?
A game! Can we see a game? How about a title? I'll take a title.
Hey, wait till next E3,
I'll
Mooch.
take a screenshot.
Next E3, right?
Crap. Check this out. With all these hires over at the initiative, and with what people say out on social media, these are going to be some of the best AA games that ever come out in video game history.
If this isn't a trick, don't do that, X-Man. We need you, man. Give it to Luca. We need you to give it to Luca, man. Come on. Well, listen. There's this is one of the things, right? I'm genuinely excited for what they do, because it's one of the few studios that Microsoft has that's not an IP studio, meaning a factory that they're not pumping out the same IP. They're free to do like a new IP. And since they've never done anything else, unlike say Ninja Theory or whoever, there's no expectations there. So they can just be free to blow us away with something great.
Well, they need Hulk Hogan in there to go tell them, come on, guys, let's go. We got to see this process up. Come on, let's go.
That's why when everybody's like always basting all these other great companies that are like, oh my God, Compulsion, and we've got this, we've got that. The initiative is the only company that's being built from the ground up that I can truly say I think is going to be something amazing. And I really hope so. I hope they're not all going over there for a big check and knowing that Microsoft doesn't do any check-ins,
Mooch, it's in their name, dude. The initiative. That's the agenda. Those guys are not gonna make no great triple. Man, they're not. They're capable of it. Yes, they're not gonna make AAA game. They're gonna make smaller, digestible games for freaking Game Pass. It's in their name. The initiative. This is Microsoft's initiative, bro.
Microsoft needs you to start something and not finish it and end it too.
Good God. When does this stop?
When does it stop?
I'm just being real about the way Microsoft has been the past 5 years, dude. I'm sorry. And I love Microsoft from the bottom of my heart, man. But I've seen how they treating us.
Well, X-Man, since you're a hardcore Xbox fan, and I had Dirt on last week, and he got super nervous. I think I'm gonna have him back next week because he did say he was nervous. And sometimes when you're on the show for the first time and there's like 500-600 people watching, you get a little bit nervous. Yeah, I know. I know you're good. I know, but just tell me, as an Xbox fan, what has Microsoft done to you that's left you a little bit disillusioned? Because you've been an Xbox fan for a long time. You were early. Yeah,
Microsoft.
So what has you disillusioned, and what are you worried most about as an Xbox fan?
They don't have the killer attitude. That's what bothers me the most. They do not have it. It's not there. That's the part they used to go out after everything. They wanted to dominate. They want to dominate Windows on PC. Why don't you want to dominate with your Xbox? That's
a great perspective from a diehard fan, and I think that's part of the thing that I kind of gotta completely agree with Sir X-Man. I don't see the fire. I don't see it. I've said this for well over a year and a half now. So you can't say it's just because of this E3 thing. It's got nothing to do with E3. I've always questioned this Xbox leadership that's in there right now.
But you want to know where the fire
went?
They
don't have a finger on the pulse. They just don't seem to have, like, you've got to be cutthroat. And you can see everyone's like, I can't wait to go. You see the people from the initiative, every snapshot, it's not them working. Like, when you look at the stuff that comes out of like the Naughty Dog stuff on Twitter, it's a picture of like a bunch of PCs and a couple controllers and like grinding all night, and then you look over and you see the initiative and they're like, more caviar, please. And everyone's drinking and eating.
Hey, did you hear that one picture, right? Where the guy's like, I'm on vacation.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was on vacation and people were doing stuff.
Playground and Turn 10, when they do interviews with them, you see them with games in production on their PC. When they do initiative and show on the office, you don't see any games in development.
I don't even see the actual studio. All I ever see is them on a balcony eating lunch.
I've seen the studio. They show pictures of the little cul-de-sacs and stuff like that, but it just says the initiative. There are no games showing whatsoever.
Well, that's okay. That's not the critique I'm trying to say. I'm just saying, every time listen, you may have seen one or two shots of the studio. That's fine. What I'm saying is that, like, I just see them. They're always drinking. They're hanging out. They're like, another lunch on the rooftop.
Oh God!
And I'm like, well, that's all right. Listen, that's fine. But I'm just like, I think a lot of these people are like, I've been making games for a long time. This is almost like a retirement package. It's almost like they're going to go over there and just chill. It's like, let's see something. Put a title up. Put a picture, a freeze frame.
Yeah.
Somebody not eating a sandwich for once.
or drinking a latte or something like that. Daryl Satterfield. He says, if the first game released by the initiative is a flop to the hardcore, would that be the end of Xbox and Microsoft to support their console? I don't think so. I think it depends on what they like. Their idea is, they're going to try to get these games out on as many platforms as they can. And they think that if it's on a kabillion platforms, it's going to do well like that. I think that's how they kind of look at it. Which this guy, I think Daryl Satterfield is the guy who won that Black Panther Xbox One X. If I'm not mistaken, he might be. Let me know in the chat if you're the guy that won that, because I believe so.
That's another thing that bothers me. You make custom consoles, but you only make 5 of them, and you give them to celebrities instead of offering them to us.
Well, he's not a celebrity, but he did win it.
Satterfield's a celebrity.
Yeah, he's the one that won it, and he won it.
I think what Sir X-Man meant to say was they're making these custom consoles and they're doing only promotions with them.
Because I wanted that gold X1X. So
why aren't we getting an Xbox One X Gears 5 console?
It's another coin drop in the column of.
We'll get a controller.
You don't really care if you buy the. You don't care if you buy the console.
Well, thank God. I made a joke about controllers the other day. I was like, man, it was almost. Yeah, it was like, thank God, it's been 2 days.
Oh, the purple one that comes with that suit for
we got
Fortnite?
Another purple one, yeah. So that's great. Listen, I just wish that I missed the days because I have a boatload of Xbox 360s. I can't be the only one that bought different consoles, like a Halo one, a Gears one, a Star Wars one. Collectors like to buy multiple stuff, right? Why not make some new consoles?
You could change the front cover on the original one.
Yeah, you could do that. Well, that's because phones were doing that at the time. Remember?
Yeah, because I had so many different.
I had the carbon fiber one on
And
mine.
then you can put it, and you put it in the front face, and that would be your face. And sometimes they came with side decal that you could put on the side. I miss that. Then they used to sell them, and it was official Microsoft. You know, why can't you go with that again? I mean, I'm sure you can make a way where these new consoles, you can change the face. It's not that hard.
I don't get it.
I don't know. I mean, myself, and you guys know my stance. I won't change my stance on that. I've never been a custom console fan. But the thing is, though, I also don't think, big time super fans like Sir X-Man that likes to buy. I mean, think about it. If you're Microsoft and you have Sir X-Man saying that he would have bought 3 or 4 different consoles because of different game skins that are on there, and that meant a lot to him. That's a tremendous. Why would you not want to? I mean, Sony's still doing it, so you can't say that it's a lost leader. I mean,
I buy them. I buy all the custom stuff that I
honestly, I like it for the incentive and the upsell. I have 2 PS4 Pros. One's the Star Wars Battlefront 2 edition. The other one's the Spider-Man one.
Yeah. Oh, they bundle Spider-Man to send them over.
And they give you the game in it. Like, I mean, it's like, it's moochonomics, buddy. You're gonna make money on it.
Not Noofonomics, mind you, but moochonomics.
No, stay away from that class.
Noofonomics. Hey, let's boo kaboom, boo boo kaboom. Sell your stuff, buy it back, sell it again.
Yep.
Hit the like button, guys. Let's get to 200 likes. I would really appreciate it. So anyway, I wanted to talk about this because it's a little bit of Halo news, and I've been kind of wanted to get this for a while. Ooh. But Halo 343 Industries is bringing in a support team to help with Halo Infinite. They're going to actually help with the animations. It's the same team that did the animations in Mass Effect Andromeda. XBot.
Oh, God.
Yes, sir.
What? Okay, so my question is this Halo's had an extended development period that'll be 5 years. There's 450, 500 people working at 343. Are they behind, do you believe, or maybe you've heard something? Like, what is
this is just something. I mean, even with a big studio like this, you got to remember, even though they're finishing up on the game, there's going to be extra content that's going to come down. I believe they're going to do kind of like what they did with Halo 5, but they're going to have more content to start with as well. So you already have separate teams working on content moving past like the original launch. So they like, if you talk to the Don, he'll tell you that they bring other studios in all the time to help out with certain things. Okay, so this is just it's a normal part of the development cycle, and I think the team that they're bringing in, they have a really good kind of like working relationship with them between 343 and this team. And the funny thing is when you say this, people automatically think of like Andromeda and what happened with like the facial expressions and stuff. Guys, calm down. That's not going to happen. All right. There's no way in hell that you're going to see like, Sergeant Johnson looking cross-eyed.
He's actually right. He's right. EA didn't give him any time.
Yeah, no, it is a normal thing, but it shows that they are absolutely dedicated on making this game gold when it comes out, and they are willing to grab other teams that they have worked with in the past and bring them into the project just to make sure everything goes smoothly.
I think Xbox should work for Microsoft.
He should, 100%.
Because I gotta be honest with you, there's no other. I mean, 343 is probably one of the largest studios that we know in the gaming business, right? I mean, over 400 plus. Xbot made a hell of a case, and actually I tipped my cap to him. That was outstanding.
I tipped my hat to him too.
I do. I really do. That was an outstanding
case.
Calling
the lefty.
That was an outstanding case.
We need a little relief over here. We got to get on
time. No, that was very good, Xbot. I'm impressed and I'm proud of you. But I got to be honest with you, at the same time, it doesn't hold water because
at the same time, that's horse shit, right?
No. I'm going to be.
I agree with you, but let me tell you why you're wrong.
Let me tell you why you're wrong. I haven't used that one in a while.
Yeah,
but I mean, I'll be honest with you. I think that's a problem because you got 400 plus people there. That payroll, the expenditures, the cost to keep the lights on over there alone. And you're going to go and pull in a team that put out a subpar performance. I don't care if they had too little time or not. Andromeda released with a bunch of issues and bugs. That's not exactly the dream team you want to recruit. So, I mean, I just don't understand that. Like, why would a team as big and prominent as 343, first of all, why would they need help at all? Second of all, why would they need help from those folks? They ran into such a problem the last time. It doesn't So I don't know what they're using them for. Maybe they're not using them for anything that's really relevant. It doesn't matter. I don't think it's a big deal, but it's definitely interesting. Shout out to the Red Dragon. I don't know if you saw it, but when that news broke,
Did you just really shout out the Red Dragon?
it's funny. He did a really funny thing. He put the quote in like the title of like just the news, like, you know, Microsoft 343 hires Andromeda developers, blah, blah, to assist and help 343. And then the snippet he had as the GIF was where the person had the legs wide out, and they had no torso running down the stairs. I mean, it's funny because it's interesting. It's interesting to see such an amazing, large, talented studio tap the shoulder of that company that just came out of absolute dire straits. It's so, you know, that's why I said Xbox. You did a hell of a job selling it, but unfortunately, that wouldn't hold in any kind of court anywhere.
They should have gave him the God of War team. That would have been perfect.
Like working on Anthem or anything like that.
They should have gave him the God of War team.
Well, obviously there's nobody working on Anthem, so they're free.
Oh, they're free to do.
They're free. You know
Anthem.
what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I think it's completely a non-issue, but it's a great talking.
Hey, and whenever you bring up Anthem, I think EA's got people out there with that Men in Black thing to wipe your memory with that, just like Microsoft. And I saw someone talking about Upload Studio. I'm like, Microsoft is sending people out right now to erase your memory that Upload Studio ever existed.
Jay Slayer 66, maybe this is what
Hold
was alluding to. He said, Mooch, these are the people that came in to fix Andromeda. They weren't the ones who effed it up. That may be the case, Jay, and that's why I said I think it's a kind of a non-issue. But my point is, Jay, it goes back to my point one, right? I made 2 points. Point one was, why does 343 with that payroll and that staff size, which trumps, why do they need those people at all? If those are the people that came in, if they're the Pulp Fiction version of the Wolf, they came in and fixed the problem. Why does 343 need anyone to fix anything? You know what I mean? They've got a payroll of
it's something that happens
people
all the time. You should probably look into like Naughty Dog and like the other studios that help them.
Well, listen,
I can say this. People,
I can say this. They have used other studios for support before. I forget what studios they were, but there's other studios that have helped.
343 was actually a support team when it came to Halo Reach as well.
Right.
All right, and they ended up taking over the whole franchise.
Dual purpose as Xbot 448 tries to sell you the Tonka truck at a car dealership.
I read that. Would you guys like this yellow truck over here?
Hey, Eastsider 49er says Death Stranding is going to PC and Final Fantasy VII is multiplat. Here's the thing. Sony has walked back the PC plans for Death Stranding ever since they switched the engine to use the Decima engine, which is the Guerrilla Games engine for their games. Right. So since they're using their own engine, I believe you've not seen anything about a PC version of that game anymore. Not saying it will never happen, but from the looks of it, that's Sony's own engine. They're publishing the game. They got a close relationship. I seen Kojima tweeting out pictures. There's even rumors that they might even be buying his studio. So, you know, take it for what it's worth. As for Final Fantasy VII, who the hell knows? The company themselves says no. So what can you take it?
They removed it from advertising and everything. It doesn't say Xbox at all anymore. More than likely, Sony locked an exclusivity deal and keeping them quiet.
Here's the thing: Final Fantasy VII. Now, anybody who's on the Western side here in the United States, and you're a gamer, you should definitely take exception to this. They said that it's not coming out for Xbox because Xbox doesn't do good in Japan. That's the main reason why it's not coming out for Xbox. They can do it.
Who said that? Square?
Square.
Square said that themselves.
Yeah. It was like, man, it was a while back when it first started up about like the whole Xbox thing. They said that it's not coming out because the Xbox does not sell well in Japan. And I'm like, Japan's only one part of the entire world. And you're looking at all the console gamers throughout the world. That's kind of messed up right there.
Aren't those consoles over there region locked, though?
Yeah, but it's coming out for PlayStation everywhere.
Yeah. But if it's coming out for PlayStation, those consoles are region locked, so maybe they just don't want to develop it over there for them because they know a lot of them aren't going to play it because they don't have an Xbox. But maybe later on, they'll bring it over here because these Xboxes, for some reason, are not region locked. Just like the PlayStation is not region locked anymore. But there, they are.
Take what I said with a grain of salt, but I definitely believe like it was like maybe a week and a half, maybe two and a half weeks ago I saw that, and I'm like, oh, yo, that is kind of messed up. I went to go make a video, but I had to go to work.
That doesn't make any sense to me. It wouldn't matter if it doesn't sell in Japan. They could sell it here. So just don't release it in Japan if that's the case. I think it's more to do with Sony having some sort of time exclusivity deal with them.
It's not exclusive. Like they can develop it for whatever.
I'm sure they can, but here's the thing. If it were to ever come to Xbox, it'd probably be the next Xbox, and this thing is an episodic thing anyway. So I wouldn't see them releasing it on another platform until
savages in the chat, man. They're like, Xbox doesn't sell well in America.
And they'll probably tell you the whole, and they'll probably tell you the whole thing. They'll probably tell you all the episodes in one and bring it out 2 years later.
Yeah. I want to talk about this because I did a video on this. In Exile, the new Xbox Studios team, they're doing a VR game, a new VR game, a multiplayer VR game, and it looks like this might be a PSVR exclusive or a PC exclusive. Now, here's the thing. They were this is about a 70-man team, okay? And supposedly Microsoft was real high on a game that they showed them behind the scenes. No, well, we know the games they're working on. They were working on Bard's Tale 4, and they were working on Wasteland 3, which those come out. Bard's Tale 4, for all those interested, comes out this year in Game Pass day and date. I know you guys are dying to play it. Wasteland 3 comes out next year. They released a PSVR exclusive in February of this year called Mage's Tale. And now they're working on a multiplayer PSVR game or a multiplayer VR game. This has always been sort of my issue with some of these development teams, right? Because Ninja Theory is also doing a VR game. They're doing Bleeding Edge and another game. It's like you're splitting up these teams that already have smaller teams into even smaller teams, and then we're going to end up not getting like these big games that we're kind of wanting. Like Mooch, what do you think about this? They're still looking. They're actively recruiting for this game, so it's not something they probably maybe started this after Microsoft bought them. I don't know.
Well, again, it comes down to what we were talking about earlier. It kind of segues a bit back to what we were saying when me and Xbot were going back and forth. And I was saying, okay, so you've got, Outer Worlds coming out from Obsidian, then you've got In Exile coming out with those games that are going to be multi-plat. Or now in this case, if this is true, that if it's a VR game, that of course it's not. It may be compatible on Scarlet if it's through something that it comes through later. Later on, they say Scarlet can also handle VR through third-party devices.
I don't think they're going to do that.
But that's my point. Except for the initiative, 343, the Coalition, and maybe Ninja Theory. The rest of these teams are making games all over the place, mainly PC. They're doing now VR. They're doing something for PlayStation. They're doing something for PC only. And so when you see these acquired studios, when people keep saying, Moosh, you got to relax and wait, you're going to see 7 or 8 new studios. I go, well, you got to kind of look at it. And this goes for a lot of things in life, right? So if you've acquired 7, 8 new studios or whatever the number is, you're going to get like 2, 3 quality, right? Like, let me explain something to you guys that may or may not know this. When you advertise, right? When you advertise and you put out, like, I believe it's 100, let's say you do 100 flyers, the percentage back I know it's less than 10% that you get back. So if you put a coupon out for a free pizza, if you call on Tuesdays, #Tuesday, shout out to the Don.
Yeah.
Right. So if you right, so you get a free pizza if you call on Tuesdays, even though it's a free pizza and it's Tuesdays, you put that out in print, you get that coupon back. I think it's like 3-4% out of 100. So my point is that's why you do mass marketing to constantly get that word out. Eventually that 3% keeps growing and growing and growing. But the thing is like when you have a situation here where you throw stuff at the wall, see what sticks. If you get 10, 11 new studios, right? You're going to be lucky if you get 3 exquisite games. The rest are going to be AA kind of filler. And don't get me wrong, that's Microsoft's point. And I think that kind of goes to your point. And I saw your video crap too.
Yeah.
When you see these companies acquired, everyone's like, well, there you go. See, another one.
Yeah.
And then you read a little bit further down and you're like, well, their first game's going to be multi-plat. Their second game's going to be VR only. And Microsoft doesn't even have a VR unit. You're like, well, all right. Well, you know what I mean? So you have to do the math and figure it all out. I mean, when it comes down to it, like I said, the Coalition is going to be fantastic. 343, the Initiative, Ninja Theory, Compulsion, the jury's still out. There's a lot of void there. So, it's like we've been waiting 3 years. Now we're going to wait another 3 years because a lot of these companies are making multi-plats, nothing explicit for the Xbox brand.
Yeah.
It's a lot. Like I said, it's more than just one subject.
It is.
Snowballs.
Well, yeah,
Guys,
look at
guys.
this. Rohit says Minecraft Dungeons is coming to PS4 too, I think. Yeah, not only that, it's coming to the Switch as well. What's funny about that is that game, apparently people freaking love that game. It's like Diablo, but Minecraft, right?
Yeah.
So people love it. That would have been a great exclusive to put on Xbox and PC. That would have been that would have been great. It would have been huge.
You talk
right?
about exclusives like what Microsoft got. I'm going back a little bit. Remember, Xbox, the 360 was the first console to have Netflix. Everybody wanted it on the other consoles, but they were the first console to have it. They attacked first. They went for the jugular.
Yeah, you could go
Next
through
thing you
the
know,
browser.
everybody started buying Xboxes because they could play their games, but then they can watch their Netflix on their consoles. This is before we had like TVs that stream it now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, the PS3, you needed a disc.
Right. You needed a disc, but that came later though.
Yeah,
that didn't come right away.
Well, that was like a
first.
DVD player was a huge reason the PS2 sold so well. You think 150
Well,
million people were gaming?
It had the Blu-ray first.
Yeah,
but Microsoft brought the Netflix to counteract that, but they were in attack mode back then, and that's what I'm saying. You got to start being first on doing things, Microsoft.
You got another Rocky thing. You got to be first. You got to be first.
Got to be first.
The thing about the VR, and I'm just throwing it out. I'm throwing it out there because it is a rumor, and it came from a podcast that deals with just virtual reality, kind of like news and rumors and stuff like that. But they said that they have an insider within Microsoft that's stating that the Scarlet will work with the Oculus.
Yeah, I heard that too. I mean,
I heard the rumor.
Yeah.
I think that'd be cool. I guess you know what I mean.
And what that does, and that puts the game development strictly on the shoulders of the Oculus team. You see what I'm saying? And any of their games that are being developed and stuff like that will run on your console with the Oculus. So
how would you guys feel about playing that Halo 5 in VR? How would you feel about that?
Doing that, I mean, it's really nothing on their hands in terms of if VR doesn't really blow up and become this big thing or anything like that. They're not investing too heavily into it. They're not, dedicating a lot of stuff. Maybe this development team is just, you said it could either be PC or PSVR exclusive. So if it's on Oculus, it'll go over to Scarlet if the rumor is true.
Sergio Lopez says we need games on Xbox only and end indies. I think some indies are cool, but I do agree that we have too many of them now.
If you end indies, then you have games like Ori not coming out, Cuphead not coming out.
Well, I mean, they backed those. I mean, we were still getting good indies last gen too, though, but the good ones find a way to get backed, and the bad ones.
Fancy Pants Adventures on the 360.
Exactly. Yeah. You know what I mean? So anyway, I got gift from Mooch.
Yes.
So that means
it's time to,
it is, man. It's time to go.
It is.
Can we go for a half hour more?
No, dude, I would, but I got a 45-minute drive. So with that being said, Mooch, what do we got going on? I'm sure we're back on schedule for Crossfire. Yes.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Crossfire, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. The Mooch 78. Go over and click that subscribe button. Go check out the twitch.tv, the Mooch 78. Same over there on Twitch. And also, MNC is back Sunday at noon on the Mooch 78 channel. It's going to be a great weekend. Lots of Mooch and crap. It's going to be fantastic.
Absolutely. Xbot 448. What do you got going on, man?
As usual, every Saturday we have the next podcast. Predator, Noximus. Of course, we got K Mega. We got the Angry Otter. Sometimes the Don as well, but it is a gaming podcast where you can watch actual gameplay while we're talking about the gaming news. So you might want to go over to my channel, Xbot448, and go ahead and hit that sub button. And check out
the Hey, Crap, real quick. I got to do a Mooch shout out. I didn't see him until right now in the chat. Shout out to WRZ Cup.
Yes.
Who gave us Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3.
He hooked us both up.
That's for you, buddy. Appreciate it, brother. Thank you.
You know what? It's a lot of fun, too. I got to say.
Great game.
I'm having a good time. Man, it starts off with the Guardians of the Galaxies.
Nice.
It's a lot of fun, man. I got to say, it is simple but fun. That's what we've been missing this gen is like the Marvel games like that. We got them.
Fun.
Exactly. Frankie VTech says, let's discuss if we can come back to bringing back rare games in a big way. I would love rare games. Rare doesn't love rare games. They want to do new stuff because think about it, right? Like we talked to the man himself, Craig Duncan. They don't like doing the old stuff, right? Like they'll supervise that stuff, but they don't really like doing that stuff. You know what I mean? Demon96 says, I was wondering if you would seen the article on Disney Investor saying the company should buy Activision. Maybe we can cover that on Crossfire. That seems like a big acorn to get into today. So, Predator, what do you got going on, man?
Nothing.
Nothing. Good to know, man.
Yes, Fred.
Friend him on MySpace and vote Pred, right?
That's right.
Vote for Pred.
Yes, vote for Pred. Knox, what's going on, friend? What do you got going on?
Oh man, some upcoming changes at work, man, to my work schedule and shit. But other than that, man, you know, Xbox Nation on Wednesdays, next podcast Saturdays, in Knox We Trust right here on YouTube, D Knox at Twitter, and all that good shit. You already.
Oh heck yeah, dude.
Nice.
And our special guest, thanks for joining us, Sir X-Man. Give it to Luca. Hopefully you get a better mic, man, and then you can come back whenever you want, man. That mic, it sounds kind of
He's like, until then, don't come back.
yeah, until then, don't come back. No, I'm just kidding, man.
That's
What do you got? What do you got going on, man?
Not much. Heroic vibrations tomorrow with Triple Cup Chuck. Pat pretty much trying to find some time to game. That's about it. And trying to take care of my kids. That's all, dude.
Absolutely, man. We appreciate you stopping by Xbox Nation tonight. Thank you guys all in the chat. Please like this video, share it out, hit the bell, all that good stuff. We'll see you later. Rack 'em up. Peace out.